This is the Kaiju Brooklyn 2 toy review and collecting panel. I am once again Ultrazilla. I am a toy reviewer on YouTube. With me for this panel, we have GForever and Heisenberg, who are a duo of toy reviewers known as collectively as Luminous, right? Luminous News, I should say. We've known each other for quite a while. We've been in this biz, doing this for a long time. Some of you might have heard me talking with the retailers before about, you know, the ins and outs of toy retail. Constantly having to acquire new toys to review, whether it's, you know, out of our own pockets. Sometimes we get lucky and we get, you know, products sent to us, which is fantastic. It does have some pitfalls, though, I will say that. But toy reviewing is a lot of fun. Heisenberg here is definitely one of our oldest Kaiju toy reviewers. Let's start with him. Heisenberg, how did you get started in this? How did you get started in this?
Oh, yeah, I'm Heisenberg. Yeah, I started 10 years ago on YouTube because I was excited that about Godzilla 2014 coming out, and very excited for the toys. I was driving all over like the city. My wife was calling me up. She's like, "Where are you?" I was like, "I'm looking for Godzilla toys." So she was quite, you know, quite appalled at first, but came around. But yeah, so I thought, oh, shoot them on YouTube. Didn't even know how to edit a video at first. But said, I'll just do what I can, post it, try to get better over time. Oh yeah, very great. For 2 years, like I was doing it for 2 years, first on my own, and then I managed to meet GForever here. Turns out he's like, his house is on my way to work, and also GForever pretty much has everything. Like since he started collecting as a kid. So it's great that he can do comparisons. He can like, you know, a new toy can come out. He can like run into the other room and like pull out a toy from 20 years ago and do a comparison. So oh yeah, very fun.
Yeah, I've been collecting for a very long time. I was a Godzilla fan since the age of 4, and I met Heisenberg at the New York premiere of Shin Godzilla, and I saw him holding a Shin Godzilla Bandai figure, I think the 10-inch one, and I think my memory is a little fading, but I think one of us came over and we started conversing, and I found out he actually works you know, the next town from where I live, and lives two towns over, so it worked out. I think pre-COVID we did some videos in person together, and it was a lot of fun. Kind of broke me out of my comfort zone. I tend to be a little more on the quiet side, and I've been like lurking in the forums for several years in the past. But yeah, it kind of broke me out of the comfort zone and started appearing in the videos, and now kind of a regular thing for us.
So when you guys got together to do this, how did you decide how you were going to go about doing it?
Well, I just tried to do what I can, basically, like do what I can and go from there. And also watching other folks, trying to see like, you know, trying to figure out the best way to do it. But yeah, it was hard to actually, you know, there was a lot of driving around trying to find the toys. And I did try to, as I started going to like, you know, things like New York Comic Con, I would try to meet some of the toy makers. I would like email and ask some folks for samples. Most people would never reply. There's a few that were nice, like Diamond Select was actually very good at the time. But yeah, just try to keep the thing in focus. And it's like basic things. I wanted the toy in focus. I wanted to zoom in if I could, and I wanted good audio and good lighting. So it was like so a lot of those things we just kept trying to improve slowly over time. Try to get better lights, better camera, better microphones, and like show off the toy. Show off the toy, and go from there.
Yeah, so Heisenberg is very meticulous. So I've been doing most of the camera work post-COVID, and closer, it's better. Yeah. So yeah, he's always like, oh, you need to hold the camera steady. You have to zoom in more, side to side, and then also you need to get better cameras. That's been bugging me for some time, and finally I did get a better camera. I think it was just getting one theory. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. challenging, but at the same time, it's
For myself, because let me go back a little bit because I got caught up with fixing the mic. How I got into this, I am in the comic industry. I used to be on staff at DC Comics. I ran the lettering department. I was always into toys, but I just so happened to be in an office that was next to DC Comics toy department. So I got to know everybody there really, really well. We played softball together, we went to the bars together, and me, I like to pick at everybody's brain about everything. So I got to know a lot about the toy industry, even though I wasn't working in the toy industry technically at all. I was working in their adjacent industry. So, I got to learn a lot about toys while I was at DC Comics. And when I went freelance back in 2015, I was just like, a couple of years before that, I got back into collecting. I hadn't been collecting in quite a while. When I got really serious about, being in the comic industry, I kind of stopped collecting because I was making my own comics as well, and that cost money too. Especially in the early 2000s, it was just like a ton of money to print books. So I stopped collecting and I was focused totally on that. So when I got back into collecting, because of all of the things I had learned about the toy industry, I just got fascinated again. When I left, I was like, I have to do something with this because I learned so much. I feel so much like connected to this industry now that I felt like I needed to do something, and having a toy channel where I'm, reviewing, unboxing, talking about toy news, which is a big, big thing for me. And I know what the guys do, you guys like to report on toy news as well. It's just very, very satisfying to be able to do that, to do something with the toys that I do pick up, other than just like, put them on my shelf and whatever. So it was able to use a lot of those muscles and a lot of that knowledge that I learned. And since I started doing it, all I've wanted to do is learn more about it. So like what I was saying, you get to know a lot of the toy, industry, a lot of these people. And I'm always talking to these people as well. When we go to shows, Heisenberg mentioned DST, Diamond Select Toys. Very, very good people there, and Zach from Diamond Select is one of those people that really likes to talk. So he's another guy I like picking his brain about. So being able to talk about the toys and from like a basis of knowledge, not just from collecting, but from like having some understanding of the industry is very important to me, and it's very important for me to, when I do these reviews, to try to be as honest as possible and to understand. And this is one thing a lot of, I see it, and I know the guys see it, like a lot of, collectors that buy stuff and comment on our videos sometimes just don't understand how certain things work in the industry and why things happen, for a reason. Why is this produced like this? Why did they choose these colors? Why, the toy industry is just trying to screw us. You know what? It's really not like that. They're not trying to screw anybody. It's just there's certain limitations on the way toys are made, and then like once you start understanding that, I think it puts you in a better place to talk about that stuff, which is what I try to do when I review a toy, because I want folks to understand that there are people that make those toys, that are just like us, that love toys, they're doing their best. And, when somebody, goes crazy about how a toy is made, they're not thinking about all the people that were behind that and what their jobs are. And having been behind the scenes and knowing a lot of those people, prepared me to be able to defend those people, which I get faulted on a lot. And everybody always loves calling me like, oh, I'm like a white knight or something, or I'm always defending the company. Yeah, because I know how this stuff works. So that's one of the pitfalls of doing reviews, is having to, unfortunately, deal with a community that, not only doesn't understand, but won't want to understand past how much something costs, and and sometimes that's all they see. You know what I'm saying? And if it's not to what they want, then it doesn't matter at all about any of this stuff. So I get it, but how do you guys feel about issues like you like a toy and then you get like a ton, because it happens, a ton of comments about I don't believe you because I don't think this toy is good.
I think this is like the best time ever to be trying to get the Godzilla toys. There's like more companies out there, more variety than ever. But yeah, from what I've heard, it is extremely hard to try to get a toy made from toy companies. It's like so many things can go wrong. It's very difficult. But yeah, and actually one thing is like since we're in New York, if you do go to New York Comic Con, Diamond Select Toys has a booth there. One nice thing is like not only is Zach, who's like the marketing person there, but Chuck, who's like the president of the company, is there. And actually, like, because Zach will only tell me so much information, but like usually Chuck is like much more loose. If you can find Chuck, and he's very friendly. You can find Chuck, tell him, oh, you like Godzilla toys, are you gonna make Godzilla toys? So he says, yeah, he likes Godzilla and wants to make more toys too, and he's trying to do what he can, and he'll usually tell me more about what he hopes to do. But yeah, it's like I think it's the best time, like for toys in general. It's like just about anything that you like, there's someone out there making a toy of it now. So it's like there's a lot of choices, and I like the fact that we still have affordable things like Playmates, all the way up to like really high-end stuff, high-end giant statues that you can like barely pick up.
Yeah, I think like Sal said, now that there's so many things out there, I'm also fortunate to be able to meet some of the sculptors and kind of know more about the behind the scenes of the companies, the process of all the toy making goes. And like Haya Toys has been really popular, and I've been able to talk about it. And then
Not an ice cream cone.
and then there's Easy Hobby, which is a very close friend of mine now. I was introduced to them, and I just see everything from sculpting all the way to getting the molds made and then into the factory and then the final product, which you can then review. And you see the whole process. And not only that, you can also get feedback from the community. I can also feedback to the makers so they can try to incorporate what they can to make it to the final product.
Point being, there's a lot of great and talented people, making toys out there, and like GForever said, like getting to know a lot of those sculptors has been really cool. Like we all follow, like they follow me now, I follow them, and it's a really good relationship. But it's no matter what, when you're reviewing something, the most important person is the subscriber. So, like, I want to make sure they understand that when I'm reviewing a toy, whether it was sent to me or not, and this is very hard to do because some folks won't ever believe you. But I personally, I'm always trying to keep it as straight as possible and, like, focused on the toy. Like, with blinders on, I don't care how much it was, I don't care, who sent it to me or if I bought it, which, I'll be honest, mostly stuff I buy these days. Because honestly, this I was saying this before, and everybody has a different experience. I know we've all had different experiences, but when you deal with toy companies, it is a bit of a minefield. So it's like, you gotta understand that some companies kind of want you to think a certain way, even though they'll never say it like up front. You just kind of feel it by the feedback you get sometimes. And some companies are really, really good with whatever you do. But I think it's most important to just be honest, because at the end of the day, my subs are the most important. And if I'm not giving them an honest opinion about it, then why am I doing it? I pride myself with like reviewing as much as possible. I reviewed something like 285 toys last year. It was like a ridiculous amount, and I'm just constantly like doing it. And you do it, you do it with whatever frequency you can do it. Like, I'm a freelancer. Like, I do freelance comic book lettering. I teach a freelance comic. I teach a digital lettering class. So, you know, I'm not like, I don't have to really go to work except for like one day when I'm teaching. So I'm home all the time. It's like, if I'm not lettering, I'm reviewing. You know, like, I'm constantly doing one of those things. And that's how I'm able to pump out as much as, you know, I can. But I also do it because I want to give as many different opinions about as many different things as I possibly can, you know? So I'm always doing that. But we've had a lot of really great toys come out so far this year already. What have been, I just want to switch the focus a little bit. What have been some of your favorites, guys?
I'm more excited about the portable toys. So for in the US it's like the Playmates and plus Toys. A lot of the Toys keep doing more and more. So they're expanding beyond the Monsterverse and going back. Like they've announced recently their King Ghidorah in 1991. So again, it's really it's great price point, and very happy with them. So it's like I admire really, but again, it's also the really high-end stuff too, like the high-end statues. It's also like great work, but it's like I think some of that I like more than others, but it's so expensive. I mostly just admire it when GForever buys it, rather than trying to buy it myself. All right.
Yeah, I like all toys, from small ones to large ones. I like particularly like the sculpting, so like I look into the details, and sometimes like some of the Mondo Sofubis, like some of them are artistic take on it. So what I look into is more of the design and the colors that they choose, and so that's what kind of thing when I just try to choose my items. But yeah, I think some more popular ones would be the Toys, which is definitely quite amazing what they've done so far. So there's a lot on the way. Of course, Easy Hobby, W Dragon, and Kyoto, they all have some really cool stuff on the way. And X Plus always is really great for those.
So you guys both mentioned Toys. One of the issues, and they're great product, really are. One of the issues they've had, though, is getting their product to US stores in any sort of timely fashion. Like, they've been releasing stuff, overseas when they're supposed to come out, but as far as US fans go, one of the issues they've had is getting the product to US retail, quickly. And recently, they had that King Ghidorah that came out. It still wasn't out in the US, and then they announced another one. I know so many people that canceled that initial one, including myself, because it's just like, why would I get that if they're coming out with a better one, soon? So these are some of the decisions you have to make. Sometimes, if you're getting stuff yourself, if they're sending you stuff, it's not a big deal, you always get it. But one of the things that's been going on is that, people are getting these things so far in advance of when most folks can get it, that these reviews kind of become a little bit obsolete in a way. And that's a little bit of an issue, in my opinion. Like, you could only give an opinion so far in advance where it really doesn't become worth it anymore, because some folks might not even be interested anymore. So that's been a bit of an issue, but they've been doing really good. Now, one of the big things I've dealt with as a reviewer is the Toys versus SH Monstars wars that's been going on. It's like tribalism to its finest. It's like bigger than WWE versus AEW. Like, it is like bananas. It's like every time I review one or the other, I get like a million comments of why the other one is better. And some of those comments can get very, very heated. And I'm like, it's just a toy. But that's part of this. That's part of this. You gotta manage your way through that. Sometimes it's better not even to comment at all and let people vent. But it is a big thing. And one of those big things is because Kaya is very very affordable, you know, and that is a really, really good thing. You know, I've called them the new NECA. You know, if you guys, you know, like NECA had very, very affordable Godzilla figures for quite a while. You know, and people would always compare those to SH Monsters, which, you know, in my opinion, wasn't that big of a. It was a pretty big stretch because the quality was very, very different. But they both had value, you know, and when you do talk to people about this stuff, you know, you do have to mention value because it is important. Like, for the price that NECA was, they were absolutely great and they were getting better, and unfortunately they lost the license then. But Ahaya right out of the gate, you know, with the Godzilla stuff has been pretty good quality for the price. But it is an exact same situation, and you know, unfortunately for Monstars, they had a bunch of duds in a row that really like hurt them, and then like opened up this window for Haya to get all this praise. But I'll be honest, as a reviewer, I've liked just as many of one company as the other, and I've hated just as many of one company of the other. So it's really, you know, it's always going to be your preference, obviously, how you go. But I wish the community would stop complaining about this stuff. Get what you like. Like, I'm an SH Monstars fan. That was the line that got me back into collecting, you know? And I was just like, you know, I'm always going to love it, even if it has faults. I'll point out the faults, but I'm always going to get the line because I really do enjoy it, and I enjoy the plastic feel and quality. And that's funny because, like, earlier today, there was somebody who came up to the table, and they were like, oh, you're Ultrazilla. I was like, I actually noticed you from your hands. I was like, this is the oddest comment I've ever gotten. But that I get it because I'm very handsy. I'm not like one of the reviewers that just like takes pictures of stuff. I'm very like hands-on. I like to feel the figures. That is so important to me. So like it was a really funny comment. But guys, what is your favorite thing about the way you do yours? Like, I love feeling the figures, and I love like talking about, you know, how they feel. It's a very important part of my reviewing style. What would you say is like part of yours?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I really like the fact that GForever has such an extensive collection, so we can do so many comparisons. And actually, mentioning NECA, like one thing, like we got the NECAs out again and to compare against the Haya. It actually made me appreciate NECA even more. Like, you know, like looking at the SH Monster Arts, the Haya and the NECA side by side, and some others. It's like, oh, this NECA, it's like, it's more stylized. It's not trying as hard to be movie accurate. But what they did is like, is really good. And it's like, oh, it's like, so yeah, it made me kind of miss NECA some too. But yeah, so yeah, I'm really glad about the comparison again, and trying to get. I also have put a lot of effort into trying to bring news. I tried to get into New York Toy Fair, which was like sometimes they'll let me in, sometimes they won't. It's like they're rather fickle, and then it's like and then trying to get to this most recent one. It was Haya Toys that had like something new on display, and then trying to run back to like the hotel or wherever I can find Wi-Fi to actually upload the video that I shot. So it's a bit of a...
Because who's going to be first? Is it going to be Ultrazilla or is it going to be Luminous?
Well, and also...
Because that's what happens with all of us.
Well, usually it's some guy who like took a picture. Like, yeah, so it's like, yeah, the door opens, some guy takes a picture. The picture makes it to, you know, around the world 5 times, and I'm still trying to upload my video. But it's like, I figured it's like, I think overall though, I really want to provide the video. And, but yeah, so that's the fun... So it's been like a fun challenge trying to provide news. And often when like the news breaks online, and the first thing you get is like this, is like some like this picture, you know, picture of a picture, like some low resolution picture that somebody like copied from someplace else. They don't tell you where they found it, and then me trying to actually track down, okay, where did this come from, and like what are we looking at here?
Yeah, I want to piggyback off of Heisenberg. Yeah, definitely the comparisons are a lot of fun. For example, like the Black Mechagodzilla, I think Diamond Select has the, what was it, the little guy?
Vinimate.
The Vinimate, and then Super 7 also did one. And then prior to that actually came from Bandai, so I went back and tried to dig for it to find it. So it's a lot of fun, like kind of going through the archives of the collection and finding out some classics to bring back. I think, yeah, we also like doing a lot of good lighting. So sometimes like translucent figures is really fun to get like the lights behind it to see the figures from different angles and different reflections.
Oh yeah. I actually like the challenge. Actually, speaking of like insider, like I like the challenge of trying to make good thumbnails too. Actually, like translucent one. I think it was it the NECA? Like the NECA Burning Godzilla, which was like translucent. We tried to light it like very specifically. We had most of the lights behind it. But of course, like to see it better though, we needed a little light in front of it. And the picture just came out wonderfully. And I was like, oh, I was so happy with that thumbnail. Like the figure looks so good. But yeah, so like trying to figure out how to make a good thumbnail too. And like actually with the GForever's X Plus Shin Godzilla, the Shin Godzilla exclusive, like the purple one, so big. And I was like, oh, okay, I want to show how big this is. It's like, well, let me stand GForever next to it. Well, of course, GForever is bigger than the Shin Godzilla, even though he's so big. So that doesn't show how big he is. So let's pull out like it was, well, before Playmates, but like we pulled out like the Bandai, I think, or something like that. We pulled out like the Bandai Shin Godzilla, the 6-inch. Like let's hold that up next to like the GForever, like it's. And I we angled it just so, like so it made it look like the yeah, it looked like the big one was like attacking the little one. The little one was scared, and like that thumbnail turned out really well too. Like so, it's like I think that's part of the part of the challenge. But it's like often involves stacking, like trying to stack these toys up like on top of like books and things, and trying to get the light in just the right spot and the camera in just the right spot.
So to talk about thumbnails for a second, this is one of the parts of the job that like I'm obsessed with, and like as a like letterer in the comic industry, and like I've designed a lot of like logos and stuff. That's always been the part that like, okay, maybe my lighting is gonna be like, it's gonna be okay. My sound is it's gonna be good. I think I'm good at what I do, but when I get to doing the thumbnail and I'm finished with everything, that's where I'm like, okay, your thumbnail has to be awesome because you're gonna disrespect yourself and your talent if this is what you get paid for. You'd rather bring it. So like that's always been a part of it that I've always like focused on, and I'm always tweaking because I'm never like 100% happy. I guess that's gonna happen, right? But I've noticed I'm always tweaking, like the video look as well. You want to be, able to change and like get new cameras or whatever, or new equipment, and try new things, or try new areas. I'm like constantly shifting where I'm reviewing. I usually review in the middle of my toy room, but that's shifted multiple times as well. So backgrounds, sometimes you want to do very blank backgrounds. Sometimes, like lately, like for the past, I don't know, almost a year now, I've done like just a figure background, like just here's my collection behind everything. And that's kind of part of like, I collect a lot of different things, but I know like a major portion of my audience is like the kaiju community, so I want to make sure the background, like no matter what, if I'm reviewing a Transformer, you still got a background that's like Ultraman, Mechagodzillas, and like Gamras. Like I want to make sure folks know, like, okay, this guy, reviews a lot of stuff, but we still see that other stuff, so it kind of like helps cross it over. And I was talking about this in the retail panel too. Diversity is like really important. I know a lot of different things is not going to get the views, but it is what it is. I love doing the thumbnails more than anything. I think that is fantastic. But let's go back. What were some of your favorite things that came out this year? You said some low end stuff. I like some low end stuff too. I've reviewed all the Playmates so far. And they're fun. They're fun figures for, getting them at retail. Like nice fun figures. I think they did a really, really good job with the GXK line. And I'll always call it GXK. I don't care. You put the X in there, I'm gonna say it. I don't care what it is. But it was a cool line. There's a lot of cool things, like SH Monster Arts also delved into Yu-Gi-Oh! And I just finally got that figure. I was a little bit behind on it, but it's pretty fantastic. I've been messing around with it. It's really, really nice. So, the Blue Eyes White Dragon, very, very nice figure. I'm happy when like Monster Arts does different things like that, because that's the type of thing that will cross people over more with other things. So that's very, very cool. and I like what they're going to be offering from Yu-Gi-Oh coming up. Even though I'm not like the biggest Yu-Gi-Oh guy, I just like seeing the diversity in that particular brand. I think it's very awesome, and as a reviewer, it's refreshing to review different things. How do you guys feel about that? You guys are very Godzilla focused, but do you ever feel like you want to do something else? I know you did like Iron Giant something, you know, at some point. How do you feel about maybe, you know, getting more diversity in there?
Yeah, I had more diversity early on. It seems like that's a struggle with YouTube. YouTube seems to like try to pigeonhole people, like not just with toy reviewers, but everyone.
Yeah.
Like to try to do one specific thing. So, but I sort of ran out of time. But yeah, I was getting short on time, and like the fact that GForever's like GForever and I share this interest in Godzilla. Like I was okay with focusing on that. But yeah, it's like very happy with the Playmates. I'm hoping Playmates continues. I'm not sure that they will, because they're a publicly traded company, and they put out a financial report like twice a year where they try to will tell you a little bit what they've been doing and what their plans are. And this financial report was all about mostly focused on the turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You know, new movie, new toys. They were all in making lots of turtles, and they said they're planning to make more turtles next year. But for Godzilla, they said, yeah, we've got the Godzilla XK, Godzilla X Kong toys, but they didn't mention like doing anything after that. So maybe, I don't know if they will or not. It's like I'm hoping they'll circle back and do other toys from other movies again. But it's like it's not clear if they will. And if they don't, I'm not sure if anyone else will make the lower end, the more accessible Godzilla toys.
Yeah, Bandai Namco is actually coming into the US now, so they're going to release a lot of the Bandai's kind of the more affordable figures. So you'll see a lot of the classics and some of the masters. Favorite figures? Yeah, I mean, Hai is really great. Of course, I really love the W Dragon, what they've done so far. Their Godzilla 2000 is probably the best figure of the year for me.
The Ghidorah too.
The Ghidorah is pretty good, yeah. And what else? Yeah, I'm really excited for Easy Hobbies Godzilla -1 stuff. They're knocking it out of the park. I can't wait to see that. What else is coming out? X Plus USA is on the way, so we're curious to see what they have for us. And yeah, there's a lot to come.
Yeah, a few things going on. Diamond Select is reissuing its banks, which I really like the banks. The price has gone up, unfortunately. But they did, for a while there, they had these series of around 12-inch tall Godzilla figures. I actually have the Mechagodzilla behind me when I record videos now. But they're bringing back not all the banks, but most of them. And it was like when they originally came out, it was a very nice, affordable, larger sized figure. And again, they're banks so that they can, they take, there's a slot to put coins in, and you can open them up to get the get the coins out. Actually, I almost ripped the head off of, I think it was like the Jet Jaguar, I think. Like Jet Jaguar, because a lot of them, it's like you took the head off, and to get to the coins. Like Jet Jaguar, you actually have to open it up with the waist. But I was in the store before I bought the thing, trying to rip the head off. Luckily I didn't. But yeah, there's one guy, Paragon FX Group. I guess they make high-end props, movie props, and they've announced that they're going to make the Oxygen Destroyer and also a Jet Jaguar bust and some Ultraman props. So I'm looking forward to that. So far, I think they've only shown the Oxygen Destroyer. But yeah, it looks very good.
They told me they were making the Oxygen Destroyer because I had one custom built 1-to-1 scale from Japan. It's pretty expensive. But going back to the original question about diversity, so I think for me, I'm mostly going to be focused on Godzilla, just mostly for financial reasons, because things just add up. I did delve into Ultraman a little bit and the Kamen Rider, but I've been recruited by the Ultraman Connection team, so I've been doing some product reviews on Ultraman. So I'll have a lot more Ultraman stuff on the way. Kamen Rider is mostly sticking to a few product lines. I do like Garo, so I have some of the Garo stuff, but there's not a lot of Garo content for some time, so I'm hoping they'll pick up some more Garo. So I'm more in the Tokusatsu. There's definitely a lot of variety in the Tokusatsu area for me. Yeah.
Now you mentioned Ultraman Connection. There's a whole slew of Ultraman Rising toys coming out, like a lot. Now, you Heisenberg, you guys have done, you have done different reviews, cover a lot of Pacific Rim stuff as well. With GForever's connection, Ultraman connection, and Ultraman Rising going to be very popular, I think. Would you see a crossover for your channel, bringing maybe reviewing some of the Ultraman stuff on your channel as well for Ultraman Rising? Because he's definitely going to be doing it for Ultraman Connection.
The Ultraman game. So it's like, I'm still like getting exposed to it a little bit of time. Yeah, actually, I thought the movie last night was very good that they showed in the courtyard. But oh yeah. But I'm glad. Yeah, it looks like Super Eye is like all in and trying to like expand and do more Ultraman and Ultraman toys. So yeah, I'm curious to see how it goes.
So in addition to toys, Super Eye is very invested in there's an upcoming trading card game. So you'll be seeing a lot of familiar faces, familiar artwork from a lot of the fan favorites. So keep an eye out for that. I was at the licensing expo last week in Las Vegas, and Super Eye had a beautiful display. A lot of awesome upcoming toys for Ultraman Rising and some of the classics as well. And it's going to be not only from the SH Figure Arts, but also like Bandai releasing their own stuff. So you'll see some of the Sofudi, some of the deluxe figures. I think some of them have sound and lights. So it's all different ages, all different price ranges. So it's very exciting to see. So yeah, keep an eye out.
Very cool. As far as like some toys that I'm really looking forward to reviewing, top of my list is the Soul of Chogokin Mechagodzilla 74 that's coming out towards the end of the year. Oh boy. For one thing, I'm a huge robot guy, on top of being a huge kaiju guy. Like, if you ever like really look at my collection, it's like tons of super robots, tons of Transformers. Ultrazilla Jr, how many Transformers do you have?
50 billion.
50 billion. Trust me. Really, like, it's a huge part of my life. It's always been. And because of that, like, obviously, like, Mechagodzilla, since I was a little kid, was like my favorite anything Toho is like Mechagodzilla. And mostly the Showa one. That is like, I love Kiryu too, like, he's amazing. Because it kind of like really reminded you of that, like, Showa Mechagodzilla. The Showa Mechagodzilla, like, either one of them, whenever there's something, I gotta get it. Like, I'm looking forward to the Mondo one. I only went in on one of those, but there's so many variants. Mondo loves to do a lot of variants. I only went in on one of those, but I'm looking forward to getting it because I think Attack Peter is a very good designer. I love his lino cut style, so that's something I'm really looking forward to. But that Solo Chogokin is like top of my list. Like, if it's not my best figure of the year, I'm gonna be super, super surprised and very disappointed because I'm anticipating it beating out anything else that's coming out this year. But I am looking forward to the SH Monster Arts Godzilla Evolved. I think that really looks good. The Scar King looks a little odd, but I'm looking forward to reviewing that as well. Hopefully, to get the Haya stuff as well. There's a lot of good stuff coming, and there's always stuff dropping. I'm really looking forward to the Ultraman Rising figures. I'm also looking forward to that new line of like lower end articulated Godzilla figures that are coming out. It's like the Ultra Action figure line. But it's like the Godzilla action figure line. And it's pretty cool. They're like 25 bucks each. The first two are Kiryu and Godzilla 2004. So those come out really soon as well. And those are part with that. And they have beam effects for 25 bucks. So that's gonna be fun. Like, I'm always into getting stuff that more people are accessible to. Yeah. So just little Genius like signaling. He's like, we're getting low on time. But I'm looking forward to those. I think that's going to be really, really awesome stuff. And there's always stuff that comes up. Like, all of a sudden it's just like, boom, there's this thing. And I'm like, okay, I got to get that. So, got to put that in the budget. But that's why doing a show like this, as a reviewer, like, where I could, like, say, okay, here's my collection, let me get rid of some stuff, is super awesome. Like, I don't have to lug it anywhere. It's in my backyard, basically. So it's good. It's been awesome to meet people. Like that is amazing. Last year and this year, it was like, okay, I guess I'm doing something okay because I was really surprised at the amount of people that actually knew who I was, and came up to me, and that was amazing. Do you guys get like things like that, like where you like impressed, where like you're at some show or something, it's like, oh, I know you from YouTube, and you're really good, I like your stuff. Like, today especially was really amazing. Like a little kid let me sign his like drawing that he did. I was like, that to me is just like phenomenal.
Oh yeah, it's been great coming here. I haven't made it to many Godzilla events. I still have never made it to G-Fest. So I hope to make it to G-Fest, and very glad that we've got this East Coast convention. Oh yeah, so I've been able to meet folks here. Occasionally I'll meet someone like also at New York Comic Con. But oh yeah, for Toy News, by the way, I did want to acknowledge that the one person I was hoping to meet here who wasn't able to make it is Mike from Kaiju Battle, where he's on Facebook and also has his own website. But actually, he's like the first person in the world, at least for me, who actually like had some sort of like kaiju toy news. So often, and with this website, it's like it's got a great database of information too.
Yeah.
So I was hoping he's here. But yeah, so I recommend Kaiju Battle, and it's like I was trying for so long, I was trying to beat him and say, okay, can I find out anything before he does? And there's been like one or two rare occasions when I did. But normally he's very on top of it. He's got the news first and very detailed, and he's got the link to it, and then he's got the database that you can like look up later as well.
Toy news is an interesting thing. I was doing breaking news for a while, and I'm like, do I really need to do breaking news on toys? I'm like, this is getting kind of ridiculous. So I just started keeping it to like one update a week, and that's been really working out for me because it's like, okay, that's my Sunday video. That's become my Sunday video now. I love it because people expect it, and that's really cool, and it always does well. And it allows me to talk about a lot of different things. Even if I can't get a lot of different things, it allows me to like, give a quick opinion on it or whatever, or what I think. So reporting news definitely goes hand in hand with reviewing, I think. In a way, like it's different, but like I always felt like it was a really good thing. You have a toy channel, that's a really good thing to have. People want to know about the products coming out on top of your opinion about it. So those were two things that I've always felt like was a big part of the channel. So I really enjoy that. And with that, I think we are getting a little short on time, so I want to open it up to anybody that would have any questions for us. Anyone? No, I think somebody that's trying to start their review.
I'll start the review.
Yeah. I would say, put in a lot of work. Like, do the work, the reviews. Just keep at it. Like, the thing is, you'll look back on some of those, like, early videos and, like, hate it. Because I can't stand, like, my first, like, year and a half. Like, I'm like, oh my god. But the more you do anything, the better you're gonna get at it, and the better you're gonna develop how your opinion works and where it's coming from. And you're gonna see what folks value and what folks don't value. So always keep that in mind. But always be yourself, I think, more than anything, I think that comes through. Me personally, and I know a lot of folks cannot do a review video without like a full script, millions of pictures. I'm not like that. I'm very off the cuff on everything, and I know what I want to say going into it, but I allow the review to play out. I allow any conversation to play out. Like, that's why doing this has been very interesting for me too, because I've always wanted to do these conversations because they could go in a million or so. I would say, allow yourself to breathe and just do and let it go wherever it takes you.
Practice. I think we actually just did a 10th anniversary commentary on his very first video in I think all the 2014 tournament. We've definitely came a long way. Like we've definitely see a lot of improvement over time. So yeah, just keep practicing, keep doing what you love, and you'll get there eventually.
I think the most important thing is to like express your feelings, like however you feel about this, like to try to express it as much as you can. And then on the technical side, it's good to have good lighting. For a long time, I didn't have good lights inside. I started going outside, which was like hard, which was a challenge itself. So like, okay, I still need a backdrop. So I'd like have this big piece of cardboard as a backdrop, and the wind would start blowing it away. But yeah, try to have good lighting, and then try to have good sound, and so so people can see, you can hear what you're saying well, and so people can see. Oh, I see the toy well. But then the most important thing is to express yourself, and it's fun. I'm sometimes enjoy watching like reviews by kids, because like I said, they're very uninhibited. So they'll just like say whatever's on their mind, and it's like, they'll have a lot of personality. Have a lot of personality in their videos.
All right. Oh, I love that shirt.
Okay, I'm a little on the fence on I haven't watched it yet, so I don't know. I mean, the baby kaiju, sure, cute, adorable, good toy. But the Ultraman design, I don't know. So I was wondering what you guys thought about it.
I'm surprised a guy with a cat Ultraman shirt doesn't like that design. Come on now. Come on now. Now, I really like it. The interesting judge for me is how do the figures look, and I think they're actually looking good. If they can carry that spindly look, I think they're doing it, and it's gonna be good. The SH figure arts looks amazing. That's another one I didn't mention, but like I'm really looking forward to that figure. But some of the other figures look really good that are coming out for it. So me personally, I really like it. A really great judge of this is my son Ultrazilla Jr. here, who flipped out when I showed him the trailer. So I think Subaraya is doing good with that. That's a really good thing because the future of Ultraman is with him. So like I think if the reaction, worldwide of kids was his reaction, that's gonna mean a lot for Ultraman in the future and the popularity of the franchise.
So when I first saw it, I wasn't a huge fan too. Didn't really like the kind of upper body and then slim waist down. But when I saw the second trailer, actually it took me a while. It's actually pretty cool. And then I believe what happens is they actually had the artists behind the Star Wars series. So that's probably where the influence came from. So I'm curious to see what the film is before I have a final judgment. But the kaiju are great. I think the Gigatron is the new kaiju, and Emmy is the new baby kaiju. I think they look pretty nice. And they have some classic kaiju, Naranga. I think Bemular and a few others might show up. So yeah, I'm curious to see how it goes June 14th, Father's Day. But yeah, I agree with Ultrazilla. Definitely going to be in the hands of the future generation.
Yeah, the trailer does look very good. It's like there's quite a bit. Looks like there's going to be quite a bit going on in the series, and so it's like it's too soon for me to decide how I like the definitely worth checking out.
Can I comment on this? Honestly, I really don't. The thing that's interesting about it is that since it's coming on Father's Day, it's in the first trailer Ultraman calls himself the dad of the baby kaiju, so it's kind of interesting. So it's more of like a parenting thing rather than a kaiju fighting thing. So it's kind of like that's just a coincidence, I guess, but if it's not actually. Oh, and the design, the design of Ultraman, it's more like, it more looks like a guy that works out his hair than like Ultraman. So, I guess it's okay, but it really takes away I mean, the design is good, but it's just not Ultraman.
Oh.
I'll agree.
Wow. You want to clarify? You want to clarify? Any other questions? No? Alright, thank you everyone for coming. Thank you to GForever, thank you to Heisenberg. Check out our channels and keep collecting everyone. Thank you.